Welcome, vinyl fans, to part 48 of my Media Museum's A to Z sorted 45 RPM vinyl records collections. And this one's looking kind of rough here. It's the Ventures doing Hawaii Five-O's TV show theme song. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, great song, catchy tune, pretty rough looking label. Probably got a lot of use over the years before it got to me. B-side being a song called Soul Breeze. Next up, got a really cool Buddha sleeve there with the price tag from somewhere 65 cents, but unfortunately the vinyl doesn't match it. And it's Vicki Lawrence doing The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia. And kind of interesting story on this one. You know, Vicki Lawrence, she was Mama on Mama's Family, which I was not a huge fan of, but she started out with Carol Burnett on the Carol Burnett Show, which I loved Carol Burnett. I loved the Carol Burnett Show. I used to watch it all the time. I still do, actually, from time to time. I bought some of the DVD collections they put out. But she does this on one of the episodes, too, of the Carol Burnett Show. And the story I heard some time back was that her boyfriend at the time talked her into doing this, and she didn't really think much of it, but it became a real big hit. I mean, 1972, we're going back a few years. So, B-side of this being Diamond Dance. And I don't recall her ever having another hit song on the charts. Maybe she did. But this is her one-hit wonder as far as I am aware. And next up, here's an interesting sleeve, Life Song. Life Song Records. There's so many distributors for 45s and songs that you just keep coming across new ones no matter how many of them you think you've seen. But we got the Vogues here doing 5 O'Clock World, and you might remember the Jim Carrey show. I think we had this as a B-side on a reissue, maybe a collectibles reissue or something, early on in this series of videos even, but definitely at some point in one of the videos I previously posted on the channel. But I always think of Jim Carrey, not Jim Carrey, Drew Carey. Geez, got my Carreys mixed up there. Drew Carey did 5 O'Clock World little video intro to his show at one point. It's a 5 o'clock world when the whistle blows. B-side being Nothing to Offer You. And that's what I've got for you as far as that tune. I don't know it, so I got nothing to offer as far as humming anything. Which might make some of you happy. All right, capital sleeve here. Excuse me. All right, and we've got my original copy from when I was a kid of A Fifth of Beethoven, which makes me wonder why it's not in the original paper sleeve, because it should be. But Walter Murphy and the Big Apple Band doing yeah, it was a disco version of Beethoven. Pretty catchy tune, pretty fun song. And a B-side of that being a song called California Strut. 1975, yep, that's going back a few years. I was still in elementary school. Far Out, yeah. Don't know who coined that or when that was definitely something you would have heard people saying back in the 70s. Far out, man. Maybe Chong. Anyways, we've got War doing A Cisco Kid Was a Friend of Mine. And the B-side of that one was Beatles in the Bog. Yeah, that's an interesting title. Beatles in the Bog. But the next one up is War's probably biggest song. And why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? Yeah, that was definitely popular at the time, and that got a lot of airplay on the radio. And the B-side of that is a song called In Mazatlan. I can't even say it. Feel free to tell me in the comment section how to pronounce that one, but Mazatlan land. Give up. Sorry, can't do it. All right, next up, we've got Whitesnake. Here I go again. Which was interesting because he actually recorded this twice. He had an earlier version that was on a, see, it says original version available on the Whitesnake Geffen album. And Here I Go Again was on another release where I believe he completely re-recorded it. Stuttering there. The versions are completely different. There are two different versions of this song, and one of them's a little harder and rocked up at the end. And I think that's the version that we have here, the one that's a little more jammed up, but it's still pretty much a power ballad all the way. B-side of this being Children of the Night. Something to do with vampires? I don't know. All right, next up we've got The Who doing Behind Blue Eyes, which was a really good song for them, and we've definitely got some wear on this one, possibly stacker. It doesn't look like it's really scraped up too much, so it might just be from being pulled in and out of the sleeves, but it does look pretty worn there. And B-side of that being a song called My Wife, which was also a good song for The Who. You'll find both of those on Greatest Hits packages. The Who's put out more Greatest Hits albums than they put out albums. It's kind of a big joke. It's like, I like The Who, and they had some really great albums, but it's been ridiculous how many compilations this came out for The Who after the fact. More than most bands. So next up we've got another Who one here for you. At least this one's in the original sleeve. Looks like 67 cents originally when it came out. And this one's in much better shape. Looks much better. Won't Get Fooled Again. Yeah, awesome song. From the motion picture Lifehouse. I'm not sure if that picture ever got made. I know there was a Lighthouse project, and there's a lot of discussion about the Lighthouse demos and the songs being broken up and spread over other albums and stuff. So it's interesting that it's got a credit there from the motion picture Lifehouse. Have to look that up, because I don't remember this being on a movie soundtrack, but I do remember it being on one of their albums. Very good song of theirs. B-side being I Don't Even Know Myself. And I don't even know that song either. But definitely worth $1 to have Won't Get Fooled Again on 45. And being that it's 3 minutes and 37 seconds, that would definitely be a shorter edit. That song is considerably longer on the album version than what it is on that single there. Next up, we've got another awesome band with another awesome song, and Wings, Live and Let Die. Now that one was definitely used in a movie soundtrack, James Bond 007. This was up to the Roger Moore era, and I liked Roger Moore as James Bond. Sean Connery was the best, no doubt, in my opinion, anyways. But I liked Roger Moore too, and he did, I think he did 8 films, and Sean Connery did 6. You can't really count Never Say Never Again, because it wasn't part of the canon, but it is a James Bond film. So you could say Sean Connery did 7, but technically 6. Alright, B-side, I Lie Around, which obviously I shouldn't have to say. Wings was Paul McCartney's band after the Beatles. Still on Apple labels, that's interesting, but 1973, so we're about 3 years after the death of the Beatles. And next up, I got a Apple sleeve with a Target price tag. Don't see what the price was at that point, but that's probably the original sleeve. And we've got another copy of Live and Let Die with the exact same B-side. And you can see why I showed you the other one, because it didn't have somebody's writing their name on it. I should swap those sleeves because the first copy should be in the original sleeve. Next up, we've got another wings, but ooh, this time we've got Rocky Mountain Records and Tapes. I don't know where that shop was at. Unfortunately, the price is faded, but it looks like it was $1.39 at some point for somebody. And listen to what the man says. Another really great Wings song. Another really great Paul McCartney composition. And the B-side of that one was Lovin' Song. So, really did like Paul McCartney's Wings. They did a lot of really great stuff. And I've got another one right here to show you. Maybe I'm amazed at the way I love you. Yep, I didn't sing that right, but yes. Maybe I'm amazed. I always thought it was Baby I'm Amazed when it first came out, but it's not. It's Maybe I'm Amazed. And this is the live version, though, actually. This is off of Wings Over America. So this would have been the live version. And what a really cool, unique, different label that is there on the B side for a song called Sorely, 1976. But that's really different, maybe because it's Capitol and not Apple. The last one was Capitol as well, but it's also really cool to see a 45 that's got different labels on the different sides, because you see how this got like a tachometer or something in some form, some kind of gauge, and that being some kind of a map. And of course, if we go back just one last one, you had the standard old Capitol label there on the 45 before that. So okay, we're going to go ahead and wrap that episode up right there. And when we come back, we'll have an interesting Yardbirds to show you. Have a great day. We'll see you again.